Alright, friends and family, welcome back to another episode here at Healing Together. My name is Adam. I go by Coach HardgainZ because that's the name of my coaching platform. I've been coaching bodybuilders and recovering and current drug addiction for over 25 years. Now, today's video is continuing in the Kratom series, but we're going to try something new and we're going to start answering community questions like we did a while back in our pseudo live stream, if you will. We get so many questions here, it's hard to make individual videos for them, but when a question comes in like this one, that's been a repeat question that we've definitely gotten a lot of times, I think it's important for us to address it, especially in a video. Now let's throw this question up here on the screen, and you can read along with me. This is posted as a comment on one of our most recent videos. Now this community member asks, if I am using Kratom for debilitating pain from back spasms in the region where I had a spinal fusion in 2019, should I not take Kratom every day? I'm taking it specifically for pain management, but wondering if I should just suck it up and take days off knowing that I'm going to be in pain and have less mobility. Now this person wrote this question on one of the videos where I strongly pointed out and reminded everyone to take your Kratom breaks. Again, we call it a tolerance break to reset the receptors, to cleanse it out. You can do this in many different ways, but it's very important to do, especially for those of us utilizing Kratom on a daily basis or long-term for our pain management. But then what do we do on the days where we take no Kratom? What's plan B? And sometimes what's plan C or D? Well, here's the thing. First off, it's very important to mix it all up pretty frequently. The more structured patterns that our mind and body are following when it comes to taking a substance, the more the mind and the body will expect to adhere to that pattern and expect that pattern to continue. So then, for instance, when we're taking the same strain at the same time every day, no matter what, the body and the mind will become accustomed to that, and it will start to expect that. That is one of the quickest ways to get yourself into feeling withdrawal. Because then when you have to deviate from that pattern, the mind and the body go, wait a second, where's our Kratom or this thing? And that's when you will start to feel the body, the mind go through withdrawal symptoms. So some of the easy ways to avoid this are obviously mixing up the strains. Now this is individual. Yes, this works great for some people, not as great for others. For some, they say this doesn't even work for them. I don't know. I've been taking Kratom daily for almost 11 and a half, going on 12 years. I know a lot of long-term Kratom users, and this method works for all of us. Vary the strain, vary the dosing, vary the duration, vary the time of day, and take your days off. And that is quickly and easily how you will get to enjoy Kratom for the long term. Now let's do a little deeper dive into that. Okay, vary the strain. When you stick to one strain, your body's tolerance for that strain does build much quicker. So throw in some different strains. Now, if you're taking it mostly for pain management, as I do, you guys know, Red Bali by Kingdom Kratom specifically is my pain management go-to and has been for years. So what do I do to keep my body responding to Kingdom Kratom's Red Bali? Well, I throw in a Gold Bali. I throw in a Red Mang Da. I throw in a little bit of Green Bliss and a little bit of Calm. I throw in a little bit of extract here and there. Remember, please, friends, extracts are not for those just beginning their Kratom journey. Extracts are for those that are a little more mature down the line on their journey, because that is one of the fastest ways to build your tolerance on Kratom, because extracts just pack a big punch. It's a very strong concentration of alkaloid in a very little amount. And it really bothers me when people tell me that the person at the smoke shop or the gas station or whoever recommended Kratom to them gave them extracts right off the bat. And what's even worse is when they're being guided and pushed into 7-OH right off the bat. That's a bigger problem. But that's also for another video. Now, you guys know I love my Kingdom Kratom extract drinks. These drinks are amazing. They taste delicious. There's no nasty, bitter extract aftertaste, and I use those as a pre-workout with a little bit of caffeine. I've outlined it in this video here. You can go watch that. That is one of the extracts that I utilize pretty frequently, pretty regularly. Not every day, but that's also a little less in alkaloid content than many of the other extract products. So you vary the strain, then you vary the dosing and the time and the duration. Then you vary the dosing, the time, and the duration, okay? Meaning, you might take it first thing in the morning every day. You might have to get up at 6 a.m. every day, so you know your first dose is at 6 a.m. You might need that every morning to get going, like I do. But some days, take your next dose 4 hours later. Other days, try to push it to 5 or 6 hours later. Other days, try to go even longer. Vary it up. Vary the timing and throw a curveball at the mind and the body every once in a while. Then it won't expect the same thing at the same time all the time. So my friend, to answer your question, yes, you do need to take your days off. You've got to take tolerance breaks if you want Kratom to keep working for you, and if you want to continue to get to enjoy the other effects of Kratom. Because if you don't take your time off, the good effects will be the first ones to go. Because analgesically, Kratom still works even all these years that I've been taking it. But I don't get those same fun, enjoyable, euphoric, warm blanket feelings that anything playing on the opioid receptors would bring. Now, for many of us, when we step away from Kratom, we go into withdrawal. That is going to be inevitable for most of us taking Kratom long term. So what I do when I'm getting ready to take a tolerance break, first off, I have to have a plan B in place, ready, so that I can manage my pain on the daily, because I need to in order to take a Kratom break. So I plan my breaks accordingly. That should be a whole nother video. Maybe we'll make a video on how I plan my Kratom breaks, because I do it very methodically and very specifically. But it may not be right for all of you out there, but it works very well for me. So you have to develop your plan for taking your Kratom break, especially when utilizing it for pain management. So you have your plan B set. You know what you're going to be turning to manage your pain when you take your Kratom break. So what you do is you start to lower your doses. You need to titrate down from your normal dosing schedule. We want to see you titrate down at least 50%, if not more. That will be the best way to get off of Kratom to take your break. But plan B has to be something that does not play on the opioid receptors. Because if it does, you're not really taking a tolerance break. You're taking a break off Kratom, but you're not taking a break off of anything playing on the opioid receptors. So if you take a break off of Kratom and you go to something that is still an opioid, that still sits on the opioid receptors, then when you go back to Kratom, it may actually work less, because if you are using something on your Kratom break that's stronger than Kratom on the opioid receptor site, Kratom's going to do even less for you. So the point is that if you have to manage your pain, for instance, that is the only time I ever utilize gabapentin. I hate gabapentin. I think it is a horrible drug. I think it is a dangerous drug. I think that it was designed to destroy people's minds. I believe that gabapentin can lead to things like Alzheimer's and dementia. I have seen it directly. I know also that after taking gabapentin in times in my life for longer periods of time, my mind is not the same. My memory is not the same. So I know gabapentin is doing things to people's minds and bodies that are not wanted. So I only take that in a pinch when needed. But unfortunately, because of the nature of my nerve pain, down my spine, down both legs, up my arms, up my neck, gabapentin does help greatly, especially when coming off Kratom. It helps a lot with the restless leg syndrome. Now, if you want to avoid gabapentin altogether, you can turn to the natural form GABA, G-A-B-A, and that will also do wonderful things for you. It's not quite the same, it's not as strong, and it's not the same design, obviously. GABA is actually a very important neurotransmitter that helps to calm the nerve passageways throughout the body. And so it does work very well, but it takes time for a lot of people to feel its effects. So it's not like a gabapentin, although gabapentin takes 2 hours to kick in. GABA can sometimes take up to a week or two to build in the system enough where the user is actually starting to feel its effects. But GABA is a phenomenal product that I strongly encourage a lot of people to utilize, not to be confused with gabapentin. I am not a fan of gabapentin, but it does serve a purpose, and when coming off Kratom, when managing pain, it serves a great purpose. So plan B is in effect. We're titrating down, we're getting down off of Kratom. We're at a point where we're taking half of what we used to. We're not feeling the withdrawal symptoms coming on like we were. We're at a place where the lower dose of Kratom is affecting our body in a good way. We can feel it. Our mind and body are now accustomed to the lower dose of Kratom that we have titrated down to. Okay, so now it's time to jump off. Got to jump off the train at some point. So you need to see how long you can go. And it's okay to run a test. It's okay to test it first. Don't feel like, oh, I failed or, oh, I relapsed because your test run didn't go as well. So I always encourage people to take a test. So here's what you do. You've titrated down off of Kratom. You're taking half of what you used to take. You're taking half of what you normally had been taking. And you think to yourself, okay, it's a good time of year. There's good weather. I've got a good week. I don't have a lot of work to do. I don't have a lot to do this week at all. This is a good time for me to jump off of Kratom. Okay, we're ready. Plan it out. Know all the factors surrounding when you're going to plan out your break, because that will help greatly. So you're ready to jump. So you say, okay, we're doing test number 1. And you can run as many of these tests as you feel like you need to in preparation for getting off. Like I said, don't feel like a failure if test 1 doesn't go well. Now, what is the test? The test is to see how long you can go without any Kratom at all. Some people find that they can go 48 hours, 3-4 days, a week without Kratom at that point. Usually those are the people that haven't been taking it for that long or stick to low doses, and they can jump off. So now they can take a break. Take your tolerance break. And for most people, we find that the mind and the body don't reset for at least 2 weeks. Some people say that they can do like a 1-week reset and come back to Kratom and feel it, but it's not quite as strong. That is why I say 2 to 4 weeks is usually better. If you've been taking Kratom for the long term, you gotta let those opioid receptor sites clear out. Most are found in the gut. So you definitely want to be taking some probiotics, prebiotics during this time. It will help strengthen and build the internal gut biome within you so that it's not quite as uncomfortable or possibly pain. So it's not quite as uncomfortable or possibly even painful while you go through this process. You may experience some discomfort, some diarrhea, some constipation, some lack of desire to eat, etc. You're going to feel things. Things will be going on inside of you. It's inevitable. There's no avoiding it. So we're going to run test 1. Jump, and we jump. So we're going to run test 1, and we jump off the train. Boom. Done. Remember, you should be journaling all this. Write in your journal, last dose of Kratom, 12 a.m. Going to bed. I've got my sleep supplements ready. I'm taking my GABA, my melatonin, I'm taking my magnesium, I'm taking all my vitamins and minerals, and I'm going to bed. Okay. You sleep through the night. You don't need any Kratom. Wake up the next morning, turn to plan B. What's plan B for you? I don't know. Manage your pain in plan B. It's also what coaching is for. We develop a plan together. Start plan B and see how long you can go. See how long you go on this test run, and you'll be surprised to find if you titrated down long enough in the proper way and really came down a significant amount from what you used to take, you might be surprised that when you jump off, your body may not even need it. The crucial key here is to allow those opioid receptor sites to clear, to be cleansed, to be open and ready, and tell yourself, okay, the longer I go, the better it's going to feel when I get to go back on. Now, if you're quitting to quit for quit's sake, that's very different. Don't tell yourself that. Don't tell yourself it's going to feel good the longer when I get back on. That's not what you want. You're quitting. So quit. And I support many people who want to quit Kratom. It's also why we make these videos. I've quit Kratom before. I've taken a long break. I say quit, meaning because it's just the same as quitting. I got off and I could have stayed off for as long as I had other means of pain management for. But once that ran out, I had to get back on. And in reality, I believe that Kratom is my best option for managing my pain on a daily basis, and my safest option, and my healthiest option, and my smartest option, and my cheapest and most moral option as well. So there you go, my friend. Now, that was a long rant on answering this guy's question, but I hope, buddy, that answered your question. Yes, take your time off of Kratom, take your break, but have a plan B, potentially a plan C in effect, because plan B may not work well for you. You may need a plan C in addition to your plan B, because many of us have to function. We have to function through a massive amount of pain. So friends, that's today's video. I want to thank our sponsor for today's video, which, as you know, is my go-to Kratom brand for over 10 years, Kingdom Kratom. Kingdom Kratom is my pain management. Their Red Bolly has been my pain management for 10 years. And I've tried every other Red Bolly I could get my hands on, and I've tried just about most other Kratom brands, companies, strains out there on the planet. And Red Bolly by Kingdom Kratom is my go-to. So thank you to Kingdom Kratom for sponsoring this Kratom video. You can get 30% off your entire order by using discount code COACH at checkout. So go check out. Like, share, subscribe. Send these videos to your friends. If you haven't already subscribed, subscribe now. I'm Coach HardgainZ. This is Healing Together. I'll see you in the next one. Let's deal with the